Chapter 25. Banquet for Spectres in the Palace. The messenger arrived at Jiaoge a few days later, and presented the report to Bi Gan. As he read, Bi Gan groaned and fell silent. He looked towards heaven with a sigh. Jiang Ziya is so talented and has such great ambitions, he's bound to be a serious threat to us. I must report this to His Majesty at once. He decided. He took the report and went to the star-picking mansion. King Zhou summoned him to step forward. "What do you wish to report, uncle?" King Zhou asked. Han Rong has sent an urgent report that the West Grand Duke Ji Chang has appointed Jiang Shang as his prime minister to realize his treacherous ambitions. The East Grand Dukes already rebelling in East Lu, and the South Grand Dukes attacking Sunshan Pass. Should Ji Chang rise in revolt as well, the whole nation would be ravaged by war, and the people may be incited to join the uprisings, endangering our safety. Besides, we've been often troubled lately by floods and drought. The people are impoverished, the army is exhausted, and the royal treasury is empty. Finally, Grand Tutor Wen is still fighting rebels in the northern district, without any notable success. This is a critical moment for the nation, and we should consider things very carefully. I shall hold court and discuss matters with all the high officials. King Zhou answered. Just then a royal attendant reported that Cheng Hohu requests an audience with the king. King Zhou ordered that he be admitted. "What do you have to report, Duke?" King Zhou asked when Cheng Hohu entered. "By your order, I've been overseeing the construction of the Happy Terrace. Now, after 2 years and 4 months, it's nearly completed. I'm here to tell you the good news," Cheng Hohu said proudly. King Zhou was delighted. "Without your effort, the Happy Terrace could never have been finished so quickly. I've been diligent, not permitting the slightest lactation on the part of the workers." Han Rong of Sishui Pass has reported that Ji Chang's appointed Jiang Shang as his prime minister. "What should I do to eradicate this threat?" the king asked. "What ability does Ji Chang have? What's Jiang Shang to worry about? They're frogs at the bottom of a well, very limited in their outlook, or glowworms, capable of only an insignificant glimmer of light. Though Jiang Shang's prime minister, he'll soon be a winter cicada on a withered willow tree. You needn't worry about it. All the nobles in the country would laugh at you should you send your troops. They can do you no harm." "You're quite right," King Zhou said, then added, "Since the Happy Terrace has been completed, I would like to look it over. We're awaiting your inspection. You and Bi Gan may both withdraw. My queen and I will go straightway to the terrace." King Zhou and Daji rode together in the 7 fragrance coach, followed by a long procession of maids and servants. On arrival, they found to their delight that the Happy Terrace was really magnificent. When they alighted and had been helped up to the terrace, they looked round, pleased to find that it was just like the Purple Palace in a fairyland. Its outer walls were made entirely of marble and agate. Elegant towers and halls with blue-tiled roofs and exquisitely carved eaves led onto gorgeous pavilions and terraces. The center of the ceiling in each hall was inlaid with bright pearls that glowed brilliantly in the dark, turning night into day. All the furniture and ornaments were made of the finest jade and gold. A member of the inspection party, Bi Gan thought only of the enormous cost of the construction, and how the people had suffered to provide such luxuries. How many ghosts of those who died in its construction must be lingering about the terrace? Watching King Zhou, with Daji on his arm, enter the inner hall, he sighed deeply. The tyrant had forced the whole country to work solely for him. The people suffered merely to satisfy his personal whims. King Zhou ordered music and a feast and kept Bi Gan and Cheng Hohu with them to celebrate. When both men had left, the king continued drinking with Daji. "My dear love, do you remember telling me that once the Happy Terrace was completed, immortals and fairies would come and enjoy themselves with us? Now the terrace has been finished. Can you tell me when they'll come?" Daji had said this only to deceive the king and destroy Jiang Ziya in revenge for the Loot Spectre. She never imagined that he would remember what she had said. All she could do was answer vaguely. Immortals and fairies are all pure, modest, and virtuous. They'll come here only when the moon's full and bright and the sky's clear. It's the 10th day of the month. On the 15th there'll be a full moon and the night will be bright. Arrange for me to meet them then. How about it, dear? Daji dared not argue and promised to arrange it. King Zhou wallowed in unrestrained sexual pleasure with Daji on the happy terrace. Since ancient times, the virtuous have lived long while debauchers have met an early death. King Zhou, however, held no misgivings and spent day and night in the arms of the fox sprite. But Daji was most uneasy. She had to think of a way to satisfy his desire for beautiful fairies. On the night of the 13th day, when King Zhou was sound asleep, she resumed her original form and traveled on a gust of wind beyond the south gate of Zhaoge to the grave mound of Emperor Shun Yun. She was welcomed by the nine-headed pheasant. "What makes you come here?" the pheasant specter asked. "You enjoy boundless pleasure in the palace. What made you remember us, desolate and lonely in this bleak place?" "Oh, sister. I've never forgotten you all, though I serve the king day and night and enjoy endless pleasures. The king has built a happy terrace and wants to meet beautiful fairies there. I've thought of a plan involving all of you. Those of you who can must transform into immortals and fairies and attend the banquet on the happy terrace. Those who cannot must be content to stay here. I myself can't be there, as I've some important business to attend to. There are only 39 here who will be able to transform themselves," the pheasant specter said. After a detailed discussion, Daji returned to the palace on a gust of wind and lay down again beside the king, who was still in a drunken stupor. The next day, King Zhou remembered Daji's promise. "It'll be 15th tomorrow, and the moon will be full. Are you sure the immortals will come? Set 39 seats for the immortals. Your Majesty will enjoy a long life if you meet them." King Zhou was overjoyed. "Shall we assign an official to serve them?" "Only a high-ranking minister with a large capacity for wine is qualified," Daji replied. "The only minister who can drink a great deal is Bi Gan," King Zhou said and immediately summoned him. When Bi Gan came to the happy terrace, King Zhou told him, "Uncle, I would like you to come here tomorrow evening to meet fairies and immortals. You should be here as soon as the moon rises." The order left Bi Gan totally bemused. He gazed towards the heavens. Stupid tyrant. The dynasty's in critical danger and on the brink of collapse, yet he idiotically dreams of meeting fairies. He's been listening to rubbish again. It's not a good omen for the kingdom. He sighed and returned home dejectedly, not knowing what to do. On the following day, King Zhou ordered, "Prepare for the feast. There should be 39 seats for the fairy guests. They're to be in 3 rows, 13 seats each." When everything was ready, King Zhou was anxious and excited, longing for the sun to set and the moon to rise. At dusk, Bi Gan put on his official robes and made his way to the happy terrace as the king had ordered. Seeing the moon finally rising in the east, King Zhou was as happy as if he had gained a treasure house of pearls and jade. He took Daji on his arm and ascended the terrace, where the tables were laid with all kinds of delicacies and fine wine. King Zhou and Daji went into the banquet hall to drink and wait for the arrival of the fairies. "Your Majesty, you shouldn't be present when they arrive. If their divine way is known, they won't visit here again," Daji warned him. "You're right, Queen." Just then they heard a great wind howling around them and realized that the immortals had already arrived. The foxes, living in the grave mound of Emperor Shun Yun, had absorbed the essences of heaven, earth, the sun and moon for hundreds of years, and were now capable of assuming the likenesses of immortals. As they traveled through the air, the moon was hidden by their spectral emanations, and a strong wind howled like the cry of an angry tiger. As they floated down onto the terrace one by one, the moon gradually came back into sight. Daji said quietly, "Look, here come the fairies." King Zhou became so excited that he couldn't resist peeping at them through the curtain. He heard one of the immortals saying, "Greetings, my Taoist friends." "Greetings." The others replied, "Today we're honored to attend this banquet, so graciously prepared by King Zhou. May this dynasty last 1,000 years. Be gone, mount the terrace." Daji ordered. Bi Gan went upstairs and looked around under the bright moon. There, sure enough, he saw a crowd of elegant beings with the appearance and demeanor of celestials. He wondered to himself, "This is really very strange. They look like real fairies in human form. I must go forward and greet them." "Who are you, sir?" one of the Taoists asked Bi Gan. "I'm Vice Prime Minister Bi Gan. I'm here to serve you. Since you're destined to meet us, I'll grant you 1,000 years of life." The Taoist immortal said generously. Bi Gan poured out wine and toasted each of them. Though he was Vice Prime Minister, he didn't realize that the guests were not fairies but specters. Holding the gold pitcher in his arms, he waited on them. In human form, the fox sprites moved about freely. But though they were dressed smartly in flowing robes and Taoist coronets, they could find no way of changing the foul smell of their bodies. Bi Gan smelt the Yiliador. Immortals are always pure in heart, unpolluted by the effects of the six sensations, and their bodies are clean and fragrant. How can these fairies smell so? He wondered and sighed inwardly. The king's unprincipled, and specters are able to appear wherever they like. It's an omen of ill fortune for the state. As he was deep in thought, Daji ordered him to start the second round of toasts. Bi Gan filled each of the 39 cups and once more drained a cup with each fairy. He had a wonderful capacity and drank 2 rounds without even getting tipsy. But the fox sprites had never before tasted the strong fragrant wine stored in the palace. Those with a good capacity could manage to control themselves, but others could not withstand its effects and began to lose their power of transformation. As they became drunk, their fox tails reappeared, hanging down behind them. Daji did not realize at first what was happening, and just wanted the members of her family to drink their fill. Bi Gan was serving in the second row and clearly saw the fox tails hanging down from the guests in the first row. He was filled with remorse. What a great humiliation! I'm a prime minister, but I've bowed to these beasts. He groaned inwardly. He ground his teeth in shame and anger at the vile stench. From behind the curtain, Daji realized that some of the younger fox sprites were getting drunk and in danger of revealing their true forms. Bi Gan may leave the terrace. No more drinking, and the immortals may return home as they please. She ordered hurriedly. Bi Gan was extremely unhappy. He left the terrace and walked through the heavily guarded palace to the gate, where he mounted his horse and set out behind 2 attendants carrying lanterns. After about 2 li, he saw a long column of torches and lanterns coming from the opposite direction. It was Prince Huang Feihu on night patrol. As Bi Gan rode forward, Huang Feihu dismounted. "What urgent matter makes you leave the palace at this late hour?" Prince Huang asked. Bi Gan stamped his foot and said with regret, "Your Highness, with the state in chaos and on the point of collapse, specters are making havoc in the palace. What shall we do? I was ordered by His Majesty to serve the so-called immortals on the Happy Terrace. I got there and ascended the terrace as the moon rose in the east. There I saw a number of Taoists dressed in blue, yellow, red, white, and black robes. I never guessed that they were all fox specters. But they were not good drinkers, and as they became drunk their tails reappeared. I could see them clearly in the moonlight. What shall we do now?" "You needn't worry, Prime Minister. Go home and rest. I'll deal with it tomorrow," Huang Feihu answered. After Bi Gan departed, Huang Feihu ordered Huang Ming, Zhou Ji, Long Huan, and Wu Qian. "Each of you take 24 men and patrol the districts around the east, west, north, and south gates. When those Taoists leave, follow them back to their lair. When you've found where they live, come back and report to me immediately." Intoxicated with the strong wine, the fox sprites found it difficult to fly on the wind. Though they tried their hardest, they had just passed the palace gate when they dropped to the ground. From there, they dragged themselves along, stumbling and bumping into each other, to the south gate, which was opened at dawn. They were clearly seen there by General Zhou Ji. He followed them and saw them stop at the grave mound of Emperor Shongyun. They then crawled one by one into a large hole and disappeared from sight. The next day when Huang Feihu came to his office, General Zhou Ji reported what he had seen the previous night. He immediately ordered Zhou Ji to take 300 soldiers, each with a load of firewood, to the grave mound, set fire to the hole, and then block the entrance. He demanded a report of the results that afternoon. That same morning Bi Gan called on Huang Feihu. After tea was served, Prince Huang told him what he had ordered Zhou Ji to do. The two men then discussed state affairs and drank together until afternoon. When Zhou Ji came to report the success of his mission, they went together to inspect the scene. At the grave mound, they found the fire still burning. Prince Huang ordered his men to put out the fire and take out the corpses of the fox sprites. The acrid smell of burnt fur and flesh filled the air. Pick out those with unscorched fur and skin them. I'll make a fur robe for His Majesty. It'll be a good warning to Daji and help His Majesty to his senses. It'll show how loyal we are. Bi Gan suggested. They returned home in high spirits, drank their fill, and then parted. There is an old saying. Mind your own business and you'll remain free from trouble. Meddlers bring disaster upon themselves. If you want to know what happened next, read the next chapter.